Today I would like to talk to you about.
That has been loaded with margin.
Okay. Today I would like to talk to you about these things that I am kind of forecasting, or I think is going to happen in the future. There is something good out of all these things, the wrong things that are happening lately, and it has to do with the administration of Donald Trump. I mean, now we are suffering it, but this is also we can get out something good out of it. Like I'm hopeful that in the future we're gonna look back to the past and try to study these times. And another thing that we can thank to Donald Trump now is that he is just destroying a myth, and that's something good. Out of all the terrible things that he has done, he was able to manage to destroy this myth that was so strong in these difficult times. That is, I don't know why these people so easily buy this myth that the rich people are genius people. The richer you are, the more intelligent you are. That is a myth that most people think. And they assume that if they have accumulated so much riches and power, so much money and power, it's because they've been so smarter than the other people around them. And I think I'm happy now because in the future they will know that actually Donald Trump and the people around him is exactly the proof that that is not the case at all. So why? Well, maybe his followers don't understand how uneducated, how stupid, how ignorant he is, because to be able to understand when a person is ignorant, you have to be at least less ignorant than him. And this is difficult when you haven't had an education. That's why it's for them easier to believe that if he is in that position of riches and power, it's because he's smarter. And actually, most of that people, the MAGA people, think that he is a genius, when actually is opposite to that. Okay, so he is dismantling this myth that rich people is the smart people, is the most intelligent people. That's what they are in those positions, and that they also think that that's why they can uphold all the power, because they are so good that they can manage the world and they can control people to tell them what to do. So maybe it's too early to say this in this moment, but I'm sure that in the future people will look back and will say, he destroyed this myth. He completely proved that myth to be wrong, because he's a rich person who is actually very ignorant. And there are a lot of ways to understand and to realize that. How? Well, this is another thing that I want to talk about more about it. It's actually science suggests, economics suggests that actually if you are smart enough, if you know more about the real way the things work, if you know more about nature, the final understanding that you get is that it's better not to plunder and to accumulate big amounts of resources and money, because that is actually what is destroying societies. It's supposed to be that science help us to be sustainable. That means that the way we work, we behave, and we interact one another has to be in a way that can auto-preserve itself, okay, auto-sustain itself. So if this structure and this mechanism of the way things work is not able to sustain itself in its own way of working, you will end up by destroying all the system, and that is what capitalism is, and that is what this so much accumulation of money and power is doing. You cannot thrive in a society and make it to last for centuries or millenniums if you are all the time having forces to gather, to accumulate big amounts of resources and power, more than what you actually need, and that is what is happening now. Otherwise, what I tell you is very directly. A scientist and a person that is wise and knows really how things work, they will never accumulate those huge amounts of money and power like these rich people, because they understand that that accumulation will lead to a chaos that will sooner or later impact their lives. I mean, these people is not understanding that having the society in this difficult situation that they are, that they can afford a living, they can get a good job, who can pay them good wage to have a good standard of living. They don't understand as rich people that if they destroy this, if they push down the society, they are aiming to their own harm and to their own danger. Why? You cannot sustain a society in such conditions. Sooner or later, something is gonna blow up, and you're gonna be affected, even if they are doing their best to be protected from the poverty, the violence, and the insecurity, and all these the cartels and gangs environment. They can think they are protected about it, but they cannot protect them from a whole society which would want to change the rules. They cannot protect themselves against democracy and the ability of the people to prescribe their own rules. So if they keep pushing the society that much as they do in accumulating those big amounts of money and power, there will come a moment when society won't accept it. This is talking socially. And talking from the religious side, God won't accept that. And He won't accept that, I mean religiously, because He has never accepted that. That was exactly the reason He sent Jesus Christ, to teach us to take from the world only what we need to survive for the day. And Jesus Christ, was the first one to criticize the people that used to like to accumulate in those times where he lived. He says several times that rich people cannot get to the kingdom of heaven. And you may think that has no reason to be, but actually it has all the reason. As an economist who have studied economics, I understand that we won't thrive over consuming, over producing with program obsolescence. We won't thrive with that. We are destroying the earth. We are spoiling the resources of the earth. That is not good. That is not sustainable for a long period of time. These rich people, they are thinking only about themselves and about this little period of 100 years human beings are able to live. They are not thinking about the repercussions of their acts over the time and the time after them.